right-hand side, one of them the Paul Miller Racing BMW. Big defence, but not the defence enough, and down the inside, Deletraz takes the lead for a moment, but he's ran long. Can he hold on to it this side by side? And once again, it's the inside line for the Cadillac, but he's had to drop back in, and Deletraz with a double move down into turn number 7 has got the lead, but here comes the Cadillac round the outside. We'll get the kick. There's a touch again. There's been 3 or 4 touches front to rear, and Deletraz holds on to it.
This is Mario Andretti, and you are listening to Below the Yellow Line.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Below the Line. It's been a while since we've had a guest with us here in our virtual studio, but we have another one with us today. So, Louis, if you would, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Louis Deletraz. I'm racing for WTR Andretti, number 14 IMSA.
Great to have you on the show. Now, you have a pretty long list of accomplishments already. You're only 27 years old, already racking up the wins and the trophies, but you had to have a start in racing. You weren't just born and immediately in victory lane. So how did you get started in racing, and what laid the building blocks for your career?
I started racing from my dad. My dad was in motorsport, so I'm born a bit onto a racetrack. And I guess when you go on the track, smell the fuel, and see it racing, you want to continue. So my dad never pushed me into it, but I really enjoyed it, and I started karting when I was about 10 years old. And from then I went into single seater and ended up in the endurance world, but that took a few years of my career.
Family, it's a family thing for you then, and he made a few starts in Formula One. You had some time in Formula 2. So what was that time like in Formula 2? Like you say, going from into a single seater there, what was that time like over there?
I think when you start your career like out of karting, everyone dreams of F1. So, and of course, the best way to build up experience and do it is single seater. So I did Formula BMW, Formula Renault 2-liter, and World Series 3.5, which was almost like F2. And then Formula 2 for 4 years, which, sadly, I never won a race. It's the only category I haven't won a race, and that's something I actually kind of not regret, but miss. But I had a lot of fun, a lot of great racetracks, a lot of success and good races. So I've learned a lot, and in the end, there was no way into Formula 1. So I'm super happy I could go into endurance world. Like, for me, it was never a plan B. It was something I wanted to do.
While you're never able to make it into Formula One, you have plenty of other accomplishments to rest on. One of those is running at one of the most historic race courses and sporting venues in the world. That, of course, is Le Mans. What was it like to go there for the first time, to race on a track that's seen so many great drivers before you, so many historic moments? What was that whole experience like for you?
Le Mans has a lot of history, and I think my debut in 2020 during COVID was special because I got a call of Alex Pesci, who was the owner of Rebellion, LMP1 team. And I was it was 2020, so I was 23 years old, and I started my first Le Mans in LMP1 in a car I could fight for, maybe not overall, but an overall podium at least. And it was pretty insane. So a Swiss race car, a Swiss team, and a Le Mans debut for me was amazing. And since then, I've never left. Always been there each year.
That must be an incredible feeling to walk into that racetrack every year and just know that's a constant for you. That's incredible. So you go from Formula 2, and then you race Le Mans. We'll talk about Sebring here in a little bit, but what is the biggest difference between racing an open-wheel car like you did in Formula 2 to racing a car like you do a sports car at Le Mans or Sebring or any of these other tracks?
I think what is important to know is as long as you're not in Formula 1, you're not being paid or not a professional. In F2 as well, you need to bring sponsors, you need to fund your seasons, and you cannot stay 15 years in Formula 2. So this is why the F1 was pretty blocked for me. I tested there, but there was no availability, no seats, and also I didn't win Formula 2. So when the opportunity came to go to endurance racing, which is something I've lived from my dad, and do this as a profession, there was no question about it. And the biggest difference, I would say, is you have teammates. You have to share a car. You can't fight. You have to work with them. You can fight with them. You need no ego. You need to win together as a team. And that's the big difference to a single seater.
Well, you talked about your dad there. He was a great driver in his own right. I imagine he was pretty proud of you when he saw the move that the rest of the world saw at Sebring. Take us through that move, that late pass for the win, a move that none of us could dare to make or even dream of making. Take us through your process there of making that pass and making a pass for the win, and again, another very historic venue.
It was quite insane, to be honest. Sebring has so much history. It's my second year in the top class in IMSA. And yeah, the team decided to put me in at the end. Jordan and Colton gave me the car in the top 5, in the top 3 even. Exited the pits behind Felipe Nasser and Bourdais. And look, at night it's not easy. The traffic is insane. I've never finished Sebring I've never finished the race myself. I knew we were quick. I could get on past Nasser pretty quickly, and every time I was catching Bourdais, there was a yellow flag, which stopped me from attacking, which was very frustrating. I thought I was going to run out of time. I was definitely quicker, but finding a way past is difficult, and Seb is a hard racer, fair but very hard racer. So I knew I had 5 minutes to go. They kept telling me the radio time was getting short, and I saw the gap. I went for it. Didn't think I would stop, to be honest. I braked so late. I still managed to stop. He crossed me over. We hit a few times, and in the end, I could stay ahead, and he never had another shot at it. So I was very happy, and I think, as you mentioned, my dad also, but all the team, and it was such a great moment for us and our first win in GTP. So fantastic time.
You mentioned going for that gap. I don't remember who it was, but somebody has a famous quote that says, "If you don't go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a race driver." And I think you went for that gap. Obviously, that move paid off, and you win one of the biggest races in the world. So that's got to be high on your accomplishment list. When you look 10, 15, 20 years down the line, when you want to look back at the scrapbook of your career, what are some big goals, some big races, some big accomplishments that you want to have, 15, 20 years down the line?
Well, I think Sebring now is ticked off. I hope I win many more, but this is done, and yeah, it's amazing. I'll remember a long time. I think definitely my biggest win in sports car, and very satisfying, because I went for it on track. Of course, I had a whole team and a quick car, so I could not have done without them. But this is done. I really want to win Le Mans. I've sadly lost it on the last lap in 2021 with Robert Kubica and Yifeye. So there's a lot of unfinished business there, and not only in LMP2 but in Hypercar. I want to win IMSA overall and Daytona. So those are goals that still need to be achieved, and we're definitely working towards that.
That's great. I mean, like you mentioned, you have Sebring ticked off. Le Mans is the next big dog that you're hoping to capture, and hoping to get that one in your trophy case. My last question here for you, Louis. Go ahead and tell everybody where you're racing next, and where they can find you on a racetrack soon. So
we're this year racing in IMSA with the WTR Andretti number 40, the exhilarating car. So the red Acura, which is hopefully is going to be fast for the rest of the year as well. And our next race for that is Laguna Seca in 2 weeks. But just before that, I'm also doing ELMS, which is the European Le Mans series in the LMP2 class. And this is my next race in Paul Ricard. Then we're going to Laguna and all the rest of the IMSA calendar in America.
We wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season and beyond. Louis, thank you for joining us. Congrats, late congrats, but congrats on that Sebring win. One of the best moves I've ever seen in endurance racing so far. So thank you so much for joining the show. We wish you the best of luck this year and beyond.
Thank you very much.